Well, hi there, and welcome to the first episode in a series of what I'm calling Lessons in Leadership. Now, I will say at the outset, I am not a business coach, I am not a professional coach or mentor in any capacity, but I have mentored many, many people who have gone on to have very successful careers or built a business. And so, given that I've had 30 years of experience in leadership areas, I just wanted to share some of those thoughts with you. So, this is the first episode. I'm calling this the Mama Drama. And I'm talking about juggling being a mother with running a successful business or having a successful corporate career. So, I was at the age of 30 when I decided to have children. And I had a clear plan in my mind that I was going to have nannies and have them look after the kids because I was in a senior executive position and didn't really see how I could juggle the two. My husband at the time said, no, if we're going to have children, one of us is going to have to stay at home to look after them. And in terms of finances, that was a simple decision. I was earning about three times what he was earning, and he wanted to be a full time dad. So we thought we were stepping into something that was going to be really simple to work out. In about 6 months' time, once I've had my son, I noticed that things were becoming shaky, and I realized that this is not working out as we had planned. And the simple reason for that is that 65,000 years of men taking the role of looking after the family, which has come down from the caveman era, meant that he was feeling he was not in control, was not making the decisions, and that because I was earning all the money, that he had lost some of his capacity within the relationship. And this was a really important lesson for us to stop and work out because it meant that we had to reassess what was going on and how we could address this issue. Now, it wasn't easy to find this thing out. I had to spend a lot of time digging and asking questions, and finally we arrived at this conclusion. And so I had to really have a mind shift at this time to go, you know what? I am the one that's earning all the money, but when there is a relationship or a partnership where both people have been earning an income and then one stops, they lose power. That is the reality of it. There is a definite decline in power that people feel when they stop earning an income. And so I made a decision that I had to address that power imbalance and therefore handed over most of the major decisions to my husband at the time. So, where we would live, where our son would go to preschool and primary school, and all of these big decisions I actually handed over. Now, we did make them together, but the final decision I left to him because I felt that there was an imbalance there and something needed to be addressed. So, if you're somebody that might be considering the same options, you're the female, you're taking on the main role of bringing the income in, then it is something to think about because you need to address what might be cropping up as that loss of power and needing to address that. So we carried on then, and once again, I thought everything was going really well. But as my son started to take his first step, say his first word, I missed out on all of those milestones. I was not there to take him to his first day at nursery and all of these things. And it really started to affect me. And I realized that what I had thought was a simple decision just to carry on working was actually now causing me a lot of emotional pain. And I was at that moment deciding what shall I do? Should I stay on in corporate? Should I move to a part-time role? When something happened which completely took the decision out of my hands. It was the 5th of December 2007, and my son had asked me to attend his first Christmas concert. And I had promised him that I would do that and I would be there. Unfortunately, a few days before that, I had to fly out to New Zealand because we had an issue there with a customer. And I was trying to make my return trip back when my PA rang and said, sorry, there are absolutely no flights to get you back here for the 5th. And so I had to ring my son from Auckland airport and have a conversation and say, sweetheart, I'm very sorry, but Mama's not going to be able to come to your concert because I'm doing something for work. And I will never forget his response. He was 5 years old. He said, "That's okay, Mama. You never come." And that was the day that I decided that being a mother was going to take priority over my corporate life. I didn't know what that would look like. I didn't know what form it would take. I just made a decision that being a mom was very, very important for me. So I came back to Sydney and started looking at what were the options. Could I take a part-time role? Could I, do something for myself? Could I move into a completely different area where I could have most time with him? The role reversal wasn't going to work. And so I decided to make the bold move and quit my corporate career. Now, that was not an easy decision, and I had to find something that was going to bring in that financial income. And I didn't do it immediately. I found something within the direct selling space that allowed me to start building a business on the side, and then got to a position where I could quit corporate. And I'm so very, very grateful that that opportunity came up at the time, because it allowed me to then become the mother that I had already wanted to be and spend more time with my son. Now, if you are somebody that is definitely not looking to run your own business or to step out on your own and you're very much a corporate girl, then there are a couple of tips that I would suggest you think about. If you want to make sure that you and your partner are in a position to work in full-time work and bring up children, then the tip that I would suggest is make sure that your plans, your goals, your dreams are in alignment with each other, that you both want exactly the same thing. Because otherwise, there is that power struggle, there is a few issues that come up. So, on a regular basis, do a check in and say, okay, the reason that things are a little bit tough and we have to juggle time is because we both want the same thing. And if you are the female that is earning the higher income and you're the one that is going out to work while your partner or husband is at home, then I would suggest that you actually talk about giving some of that power back to the partner that is not earning the income, because that will definitely help with how your children are raised and the time that you spend with them. But if you are somebody that is actually looking to start your own business and move out of working full time for other people, then there is a plethora of choice. There are so many incredible companies that you can actually start working for and doing it yourself and being at home with your children so that you can be flexible and have more time. And there are multiple mentors that can help you. And please reach out to me if you would like to chat about opportunities like that. But one of the things that really made a huge difference for my life was that realization, that awakening, that here was a little person that really needed me and whose life I was going to impact. But I had no understanding of how big that impact would be up until much, much later. And that is why I think it's so important, because sometimes we don't realize what that role is going to look like. So here's the little guy when he was 5 years old. And this was on that trip back when I came back to Sydney. And I'm so glad that he was honest and open with me and just shared from his heart saying, "This is how I feel. You're never around." Because if he hadn't done that, then all of the decisions that happened after would never have happened. And I'm very grateful, sorry, for that decision. But this is what he is today. And he is grateful for that decision as well, because we're very close. And I'm very happy that I have helped him now navigate the university years and setting up his career as well. So I hope that has been useful for some of you, some simple tips on how you can actually make that move, have the headspace to be a really good mum and be able to juggle your corporate career. And it is not going to be easy. There will be times when sacrifices have to be made. We made huge financial sacrifices because if you are starting your own business, you have to accept that a business will take a couple of years to generate the same income that your corporate career does. And so we decided as a family that we would not go overseas. And so there were many holidays we just did in Australia rather than going overseas. And I would watch some of my friends taking their families overseas because they were still working in corporate. And that was okay. we had to be comfortable with the decision that we have made. And if you don't have those discussions with your partner, with yourself, keeping that vision really, really crystal clear as to why you're doing what you're doing, then you will become angry. You will become frustrated. You will look at other people and say, I wish that was me. But when you make a decision about what you want, what's important for your family, those sacrifices become really simple. And for me, the greatest joy is that making the sacrifice to quit corporate and work for myself today has meant I have an incredible relationship with both my children. And I'll be sharing a little bit more with that in the next episodes. So I hope that was useful. Thank you for being with me, and I will be in touch with you on the next episodes very soon. Have an awesome day.